What's up? What's up? Yo, we live? We live? Holy shit. All right, hold on. Hold on. All right. Hey, yo, what's good? What's up? Man, y'all some shit talkers. My man said last week it was cheesecake. What is it this week? Shout out to the chat. Man, I really appreciate it. Nah, for real though, man. On the serious, I truly appreciate you guys just rocking out with me. You know what I'm saying? Talk that talk. You like it? Catchy? It ain't Thursday, P-Rock. What are we doing here? Shit, my man DMG's like, shit. Last time it was cheesecake. What we doing? What he doing now? I'm in my Giants cup, eating ice cream. Sorry. Probably wife making him late. Mine does. Oh yeah. Facts. PR always late. Hey, so during the podcast, in my defense, it's the panel. I mean, we all together. You know, one's late, we all late. This one, I'm gonna blame my wife. You know what I'm saying? What's good? P-Rock is finally back. Talk to him, Professor. Hell yeah. Jeb Grubb, Crystal Dynamics. Are the next studio MS going to buy? No, everybody keeps saying Crystal Dynamics. But Crystal Dynamics is owned by Square Enix. I don't think people realize that. Y'all realize that? Square Enix owns Crystal Dynamics. It belongs to them. Unless people are trying to say Microsoft is going to buy it off of Square Enix. But they're not. Because Crystal Dynamics is part of Avengers. And I think they're doing Galaxies. It's a Square Enix studio. What's going on? Simply 85. What's up? Craig. Is this Mass Effect talk? Hell nah. Hell nah. My day's going good. Chilling. So it's dessert again. Always. Can you think of a better reason to be late? It's all about the dessert. It's all about the dessert. You know what I'm saying? Last week was cheesecake. Today's chocolate ice cream. You know, it's cheat day. Are you a fan of raunchy humor? Yeah. I mean, yeah. You know, in a given time and place too. Not now. Don't do that in the chat. Blame, let's see. Hey, we need you on these streets, man. Yo, it's bruh, I know, yo, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to help the gaming community now. Cause yo, things went deep left field right now, bro. Like, we'll talk about it, especially with Twitter Spaces. Like, oh my god. At first, I was thinking of doing Twitter Spaces. I was ready, right? I even have the title. But now, I don't think I'm going to do it. I don't think I'm going to associate myself with that. I'm like, bruh. Like, if I do, I might just lock it to just me speaking. And maybe do like a sermon type stuff. Where, you know, it's just me. And people just listen. Because, bruh. Like, some of these spaces, we'll talk about that. Whose man's is this? You know what I'm saying? Next week, flan. Ooh, what you know about that flan, bro? Ooh, flan. Ooh. Ooh, facts. Ooh, I haven't had flan in a minute. I think that's gonna be Tuesday special. I'm gonna be late to get some flan. Ooh, my man DMG out here. Yo, what's up? Yo, hit the like button. We're gonna get this popping. But I miss you guys. I miss just chatting with you guys. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that a lot, especially in Germany. You know what I'm saying? Because remember I couldn't do the podcast over the from 2018 to 2020. I tried, but it was too hard. So I was just doing joints like these in the meantime. But I missed this with the interaction with the chat and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But hit that like button. But DMG hit me up with the flan. Ooh. Shit, I might go get some tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I have to catch up to Jay Barry's thing, man. I stood up way late last night with my wife. Boy, and over here I would have to wake up at 8 because his show starts at 11 a.m. So it's 8. I didn't wake up till like 11. You know what I'm saying? I was too drunk off that yak. Me and my wife were just chilling, you know what I'm saying? So I had a little bit of Hennessy. She was drinking Hawaiian. You know, a little Netflix and chill. And next thing you know, I ain't waking up till like 11:30. Shit. You know what I'm saying? I was out. You know? Let's see what we got here, man. How y'all doing? How's y'all Saturday? You know what I'm saying? But we're going to talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. Retweet this out. Let people know it's about to be popping. And we're going to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know some might be like, oh, hurry up, get to the topic. Listen, we lounging right now. This is the lounge, right? This is not like a podcast where it's like, bow, 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 bow. You know what I'm saying? And I normally do that because, you know, I'm trying to get all the people's opinions, you know, the panel members. So you can't, you know, bullshit around too much, right? Because each person is going to have their comments, or, you know, the podcast will end up like 4 hours if you did that. So you have to keep structure. But here's just me. I ain't going to have a dude having a 10, 15 minute opinion and then another person with a 10, 15 minute opinion. It's just me and then you guys. I get to focus a little bit more on the chat as compared to a regular podcast. Simply because just the dynamic. So, you know what I'm saying? This is the opportunity to talk that talk. All right? So, relax. You know, grab a beer or a beverage of your choice. Grab some flan, cheesecake, or ice cream. Watching college football. That's what's up. Yo, my Yankees lost today. Oh, my God. They got rocked, and Boston and Toronto won. These guys are stressing me out. Yankees got to win tomorrow. They got to win tomorrow. If they don't win tomorrow, and Boston, Toronto wins, Boston will then clinch the wild card spot, and then it will be a tie between Toronto and Yankees, and then the Yankees will have to do like a one game. Oh, I don't want to. I'm stressing myself. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk about that. That's for another day. That thing's gonna. What's it? It's just me. This is something last minute I did. You know, normally the consistent podcast Tuesday, but I'm thinking, you know what? There's a lot of news coming out here. There's some news coming out here. I need to talk about it now. I need to talk that talk. Rock, you built a PC yet? No, man. Because, man, a lot of shit's expensive, hard to get. So I'm going to just wait a bit. You know what I'm saying? And really, there's nothing outside of the PlayStation 4 that I really want to play right now. So that's why I'm not in a hurry to get a PC game. I mean, I am and I'm not. Main reason I'm kind of in a hurry to get a PC build is mostly because of the podcast and content. Because my laptop is on is whatever. It's done. It's done. Right? So that perspective, I want a PC as soon as possible. But from a games perspective, I could wait. There's nothing that's outside of PlayStation where, you know, you can't play it on PlayStation. You need either Xbox or PC. There's no game out there that I'm like, oh man, I gotta get whatever right now. Like, there's nothing. There's no game out there that has me like, I gotta get this. You know what I mean? Not saying there's no games I wouldn't want to play, but there's nothing that is urgent. You know what I mean? GPU parts right now, I know it's still an issue. It's ridiculous. Yeah, see, Blackbeard has it. For video editing, podcast, yes, but for gaming, nah. You know? And like I said, and I said this a million times, I'm not getting the PC to get, you know, the most powerful or the best version. No, it's really just strictly for content. You know? Content that's not on PlayStation, VR content, and PC exclusives. It's strictly content. But right now, there's nothing that I need to jump and I'm going, you know, crazy by not having a PC. You know what I'm saying? There's good content on PC, but it's nothing that is stressing me out. You know? It's not like, you know, there's a big hitter or something. Cuba's like, the Yankees have him suffering. I know, man. It's rough, bro. Woo! Yankees got me in my feels, bro. But yo, I'm glad you guys are chilling. I hope your weekend's going good and stuff like that. You know, it's spooky season, so get your costumes out. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button. We already got 100 people up in here, and we're gonna hit up the first topic. Let me just lead it off with some graphics. Some graphics. Let me see. Is this it? Is this it right here? No, that ain't it. That's not the topic right now. Is this it? Oh, there we go. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna let that churn. I'm gonna let it grind in there for a little bit. That's gonna be. You already see the image of the first topic, and I'm gonna give you my perspective on it. Right? What the fuck? Live on Saturday? Yeah, it's just random. You know what I'm saying? Just want to talk some stuff. Throw it out there. You know. And plus, also, I'm trying to catch up for abandoning y'all for the whole summer. And, hey, for the record, it was work-related. You know what I'm saying? It was work-related, okay? That's why, and I said this many times, I don't have Patreon. I don't have, like, membership. I don't do anything that creates a scenario where there's a subscription or anything like that. Because I can't. Because I cannot honor Patreon members. I cannot honor membership members. I can't do that. Because the moment my job says, hey, yo, Border Rock, like, it's time. You gotta do this shit. Gotta go. And next thing you know, you don't see shit on my channel for like a month or 2 months. If I don't want a deployment, 6 months. It is what it is. And I know that. You know what I'm saying? So this will always and always has been more of a hobby. But I enjoy it. But this is not a career. If you know what I'm saying. This has always been a hobby. And you know what? To be honest, the fact that I leave it as a hobby is kind of refreshing. Because I'm not stressed out trying to get a yellow or blue chair. I don't need no chairs from nobody. I'm not trying to get somebody on the channel. I'm not trying to get free swag. I could buy what I want. If I want it, I'll buy it. And I ain't worry about that. And it's kind of refreshing to be that person, right? Because some people call it toxic, right? Well, not some people. We know the people call it toxic. We know them, right? We know who the ones call it toxic. I just call it honesty. It's refreshing just to say what you want on a topic and not worried about, am I hurting this person's feelings? Well, this person, this company was hooking me up, and now, you know, they're going to feel some type of way, so now they're just going to cut me off and not send me stuff. I ain't got to worry about that stuff. I ain't got to worry about getting free controllers. Oh, look, this guy sent me a teacher. I ain't got to worry about that ish. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Like it or don't like it, not my problem. It is what it is. Grand opening, grand closing. All right. So we're going to talk about, hit that like button, PlayStation 5 became the first console to achieve 8K 60. Right? Now, granted, it's a indie game, right? Okay, but I'm not going to downplay it too much, right? Because it's still technically a first thing on consoles, right? What we talking about? We're talking about 8K 60, dog. PS5 will be in the record books as the first console, not the first platform, because PC, you know, is god tier when it comes to performance and power. We always know that. But for a console that costs $399, $499, PS5 is the first console to achieve 8K 60 internally, right? Native 8K 60 frames, right? So what does that mean? For 99.9999999% of people, well, really 100% of people, but for the majority, nothing, because most people don't have 8K TVs. And even then, because the HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, the console cannot actually output 8K 60 unless Sony, does some type of software update, right? So really, in the grand scheme of things, as getting the content in your hand, it doesn't mean much that the company was able to render this game at 8K 60, right? What it does mean, though, because this one game running at natively 8K 60 is the same game on the Xbox Series X, and it runs no higher than 6K 60. The developer is not able to get 8K 60 on the Xbox Series X, and it's attributed, according to experts, because the split pool memory that Microsoft decided to use. If you remember, Microsoft went with a really high bandwidth memory, but it caps at 10 gigabytes, bits, whatever, right? 10 gigs, right? Okay? Capped. The remaining 6 is on a much lower speed. PlayStation just kept it unified. 16 gigs at this consistent bandwidth speed. I said a while ago that split pool could potentially, be an issue. The fact that Microsoft went with a really high bandwidth, really high, but they stopped at 10. And then they went with something was really low with the remaining 6 gigs, right? And people were saying, developers, all they're going to need is just 10 gigs and it's good enough. I'm like, maybe not. In my opinion, that's not a decision a console maker should make. A console maker should not decide to a developer, hey, we got 16 gigs of RAM, but you only need 10 of high speed of it. I don't agree with that, because we've seen in the past what happens when you use split pool memory. It never really works out well. Developers don't like that. They like unified memory. Consistent. We learned that from the PlayStation 3. But it is what it is, right? The real conversation about this is this. It's, how can I put it? It's all about the egg in the face, the bowl of crow. A lot of these Xbox fans who push power narrative all throughout 2020. That's what this is about. It's about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about the BS people had that were serious conversations. Because make no mistake, you got the trolls out there that talk shit, right? And I'm not even going after the trolls. Because troll is going to troll. Dudes who on Twitter naming themselves Xbox, University, dudes who name their names Xbox. You're weird. You're weird. But whatever. Your Twitter handle's actually named Xbox something something something. Hey, I know what you guys are doing. I got it. You're having fun? We shoot the shit, we jab the jab. It's the dudes that are serious. Those are the dudes, the neutrals, or even the serious Xbox fans. Those are the ones that I am laughing at. Because you guys deserve to look stupid. Because you guys were serious about how weak the PlayStation 5. And you guys pretended that you guys were all engineers. I never seen so many gaming engineers in my life. I never seen so many people that done engineering and architecture, and all of a sudden all of them are developers. Oh, I'm a developer. Blah blah blah. What game you made? Who you work for? Tell me a game. As soon as I ask that question, they disappear. Because I want to see the game. I want to look you up. I'm going to look up in the scrolls, in the credits. I'm going to find your name. Let me see your credentials. But all these dudes, the serious dudes, who had serious paragraphs of conversation on Twitter, talking about the issues that PlayStation 5 is going to have. Oh my God, this is blowing back on their faces. And it's beautiful. Not the trolls, because the trolls, even now, they're still trolling. Even now, they're still calling Xbox the most powerful console in the world, and the weak stations the AT flop. I got it. Trolls are going to troll. That's the whole point. The whole point of them trolling is to ignore facts, whatever. It's the serious dudes. It's the dudes that, you know, the social media influencers, the big YouTubers, motherfuckers that made 10, 15-minute videos, right? Explaining shit that they don't fully understand. No access to the equipment. Nothing. And what's crazy is AAA developers all throughout 2020 was telling people, you're not going to see the difference. They're telling you this. No one wanted to listen to them because it didn't fit what they wanted to say. AAA developers who have the kits, who are working on the consoles, who are part of the process or at least been informed on what's happening with these products. Because I know, maybe a stupid concept, but maybe, just maybe, Sony and Microsoft each was keeping the big major third-party developers informed on what's going on with their consoles. I don't know. You know, maybe they weren't left in the dark. And when they hear this information or they got their hands on the dev kits and they see what's going on and they come and tell you, hey, you're not going to see much of a difference. Don't believe the numbers. T-flops is not everything. They were telling you this and y'all still doubled down. Simply because you did this stupid metric of, well, if I have a 12-top GPU and I bought a 9-top GPU, obviously the 12-top GPU is better. Hey! Oh my God, you guys are so dumb. Like, yo, it's not the same. Because the consoles is about the entire architecture. You're only as good as your weakest link in that architecture. It's a whole architecture they assembled. It's not, they didn't sell us a GPU. They sold us an entire console that includes the CPU, the GPU, the memory, and the actual I/O, the input-output interfaces. All of that. You're only as strong as the weakest part of that. And then also the dev kits. Newsflash. Proper tools, easier dev kits make things easier for developers, which makes it easier for developers to get the most out of their console. Gee. You know? I don't know. What's crazy is, all this time in 2020, they're talking, and it was funny, they try to be slick, right? Because they want to be, oh, this positivity, right? It's positivity. It's just, I'm not being toxic positivity. They want to say, you know, Xbox Series X for the best experience, blah, blah, blah. But the PlayStation 5 is still good. You're just not going to get, a great experience. But if that's okay for you, it still has exclusives and all that, and it's still a great choice, and you'll be fine. I'm positive. See? No, motherfucker. I heard what you said. You snuck in. Xbox still superior and it's the best experience. You're just trying to side jab and try to be nice with, but it's still good. So, I'm still friend. Get the fuck out of here. We see your bullshit. You think we stupid? Get out of here with your dumb shit. We seen the words you're saying. You out your goddamn mind. You throwing shots. Y'all trying to throw shots, subliminals. We not stupid, bro. Your fan base is stupid. We not stupid. Get out of here, bro. Your dumbass Xbox that follow you are dumb. They know. They're the ones falling that shit. Everybody else out here ain't falling for that shit, bro. And I don't give a shit if the PS5 console, because of the HDMI 2.1, is, can't actually run, output it. I don't give a shit if it's just an indie. If it's just an indie, then that just tells me the way these dude hype Xbox Series X, it should be running 12K at 120 frames. Because that's the console you guys advertised. You guys advertised 30% performance boost, 40 to 50% delta, all this stupid shit. So why isn't Xbox running this game at 12K? 120 frames. If it's just an indie. You should be beast in this game. There should be no excuses. But this shit, if PlayStation 5, the PS4 Pro, or the 1440p machine that y'all talked about, the console that's having trouble to run Resident Evil 5 is going to be running at 1080p. Remember that shit? If the PS5 having all these limitations cannot maintain max GPU output and max CPU output because smart shift and all this other bullshit y'all created, the console it can only choose one or the other. In fact, you mofo said the Xbox Series S was going to outperform the PS5. Oh my God, don't get me started on this one, bro. Don't get me started on your bullshit, because it's all there. Yeah, dude said the Series S is going to outperform the PS5. Bro. Yo, this shit's crazy. Right? So if all that shit is true, why isn't the Series X running this shit at 12K? Fuck a 8K. This is the beast that eats monsters. Y'all said that shit. So where's the beast that eats monsters? I want to see the machine that eats monsters. Why is this console not running? And I'm not even going to say 8K. Screw that. Nah, that's not what you advertise. You didn't advertise that this console is going to do the same thing as the PS5. You didn't advertise they're going to be equal. You said it was going to beast. I want to see this game run at 12K on the Series X. Because if it's running at 8K 60 on PS5, then I should expect Series X 8K 120 or 12K 60. Why are we not getting that? I don't want to hear nominal. No. You didn't advertise this as a nominal or close. You explained that this console was going to beast. Beast that eats monsters. It eats monsters. So if the PlayStation's doing this at 8K 60, I expect 12K. Or 8K 120. Hell, 8K 240. Why are we not getting that? If it's such a monster. Why are we getting these huge Delta performances? Because y'all were full of shit. The AAA devs all throughout 2020 kept it real with y'all. They told you you're not going to see this. They warned you. Yo, hold on. Let me find something. Hold on. Let me throw up another image. I just thought about this image right now. I'm going to shout out to this person. Hold up. Espera un momentito. Espera. Bear with me. Okay, bear with me. I gotta find it. ¿Dónde tú estás? Where are you at? Give me a second. Hold on. Man, I should have thought of this earlier. Where you at? There's a particular image that I'm ready to show. I need to find it. Come on. Move, man. Let's go. Vamos. What the fuck's going on here? Oh my god. Mad annoying, bro. The fuck? Where you at? I gotta show you this image. It's imperative. But while I'm looking for this image, you can't hit the like button. I'm just saying. Y'all could do that. I'm just saying. You don't have to. But you can. It's free of charge. Just treat it like a free-to-play. You know? You hit the like button, you get an instant platinum. ¿Dónde tú estás? Where are you? Oh, here it is. Found you, son. I found it. Now, hold on. This is what I'm going to do. Is it? Yeah, I found it. Hold on. Vamos. What are we doing here? Boom. This is what we're going to do. Hold on. So I saved this image. I'm going to save this image. Because this aged beautifully. Yo, I'm not going to lie. This right here, Lord. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see where I can save that. Can I put it here? Okay, yeah, I'll do it right here. This is what I'm going to do. Hold on. Look at this image. Look at this. Boom. Let me fix it up a bit. Let me dress it up. So y'all can see it. I'm gonna let it cook. Gotta make sure. There we go. Andrea Pacino worked for Ready at Dawn. And back in, let me put it so you can see the date. There you go. March of 2020. All right, I'm gonna let it cook because I understand there's a little lag, so I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit. Let this cook. All right, let this cook a little bit. I want to make sure that y'all see the screen. All right. All right. Shout out, super chat, that had Suma. My Twitter been pure comedy, so much mental gym. What? Yo, these dudes are preparing for the 2025 Olympics, bro. We're gonna have a whole new gymnastics team. Yo, it's crazy. We're gonna have an all-star gym team, bro. Cause it's just hilarious. But everybody sees the new image. It's booted up. It's loaded. You know what I'm saying? Everybody sees. What's her name? Andrea Pacino. Tu ves eso? Right? If you're looking at the image right now, that statement from her was March 2020. Yo, tell me she ain't called it. There's some predictions you can make. Even I made some predictions, right? That came out true. But that right there, yo. Tell me she's not on the money. Tell me right now if anyone during that point tried to check her. Tell me they won't feel stupid right now. Tell me they wouldn't have lost that dollar right now. Dollar bet within a year from its launch. So that means November, right? So the console's launch. She said within a year. That means by November 2021, gamers will fully appreciate that the PlayStation 5 is one of the most revolutionary, inspired home consoles ever designed, and will feel silly for having spent energy arguing about teraflops and other similarly understood specs. Is a guy? Casino's a guy? Andrea? Or is it Andre? Is it pronounced Andre? Oh, shit. Is it her or he? Yep. Oh, so it's Andre Pacino. I thought it was Andrea. So the 8 silent? That's some messed up shit. But yo. Alright, I'll tell you the reason why I assumed. If it is a dude, I apologize. But I'm going to tell you why I assumed it was a woman. One, the first name, Andrea. I mean, it could be Andre, but normally you won't have an A at the end. And then number 2, you got the whole paragraph with a kissy. I mean, you don't usually see me end my paragraphs with a kiss. That's just, I don't know. I'm just saying it is what it is. That's why I thought it was a chick. But it's alright though. It's all good. No judgment here. My bad. We're going to say Pacino. But tell me that thing didn't age like the finest wine out there. Right? And that's the whole thing about this idea. Right? That's why if you notice the content from Xbox, right? The content from Xbox, guys, it's not about power no more. And you cannot tell me they moved on from power because they got a whole bunch of amazing games. They ain't got shit this year. Excuse me. They ain't got a damn thing. They ain't have nothing, bruh. Yo, let's be real. 200 people, hit that like button. Please. I would appreciate it. If you don't mind. You know that if even 50% of the stuff they hyped for a whole year in 2020 up until launch was even half truth, they will be all over it in their podcasts. They completely abandon all those talking points because they know it's true. But you know what makes them crappy? I'm gonna tell you, because they play, a lot of these dudes play a good game about positivity, all that stuff, keeping the community informed, doing a good job keeping informed. How come they're not informing the gaming community now and coming on their podcast saying, hey guys, yeah, we got it wrong. We got ahead of ourselves. We made predictions just simply based on technology of PC, but now that we look at it, it's not apples for apples. We really undersold the architecture PlayStation 5 have, how Sony put together the tools and, the dev kits and their overall strategy, which is working out well. And PlayStation 5 is actually a comparable console. Something that you could get for $399 is really punching its weight. And for those who got it, you're going to get a great experience on these multi-plats as well, too. So the whole power thing or Sony went too weak, it just wasn't a true statement. How come they're not doing that? If they're all about fairness, positivity, how come they're not informing the community on the facts that they were wrong? How come they're not informing the community that, you know what? PlayStation 5 is a great jump. They did a great job, and it's incredible that they only needed 10.2 T-flops to do it. It's actually quite impressive. If they were everything they are advertising themselves to be, they would do that. If they were advertising themselves to be. But no, this is proof. They're not here to spread positivity, whatever. They are here to help sell Xboxes. So they could get chairs and free content and free swag, even if it means misinforming the gaming population. That's it. Let's cut the BS. And that's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. So this AK-60, right? It's just another dagger. It's just another slap in the face and reminder that y'all were wrong by a huge margin, right? PlayStation 5 is the first 8K 60 console on a game that is also an Xbox Series X. And despite the full RDNA 2 and all this nonsense, Xbox Series X was not able to do it for whatever one reason or another. And considering the hype of how powerful the Series X was going to be over the PlayStation 5, there would have been no excuse. Hell, like I said, it should be running the game at 12K. Given how much many of you downplayed the PS5. You downplayed the console to such extreme levels, I don't know why Series X is not running this game at 12K. I don't know why. Because if PlayStation could do it, if PS5 could do it at 8K, surely the beast can do it at 12K. It should be nothing. Should be effortlessly. Crazy, right? Now, I said from the beginning, I don't care about having the most powerful console. At the end of the day, it's all about the content. It's all about the big banging games. That's it. As long as you deliver that, you're good. Some of the best consoles of all time were not the most powerful consoles of that gen. It was just the console that had the best games. Simple, right? Let's go on to some other news. All right. I think it's here. Okay, we got that one already. Is it this one? All right, Bluepoint. There we go. Bluepoint. So it's official. I mean, it was leaked before, but now it's official. Maybe because of, contracts, whatever. Bluepoint is now an official studio. First party studio. Which is a great thing, right? They've done many projects. They're doing fantastic with their remakes, right? And rumor has it, they have 2 games in progress. One is a new IP, which is good. Because I'm going to tell you, the studio can't just be a remake studio. Right? To really get their names out there, they need to create new content on their own, which is fantastic. And a remake of a beloved franchise. Now, the word beloved franchise is so vague because it could be anything. It could be Metal Gear, a beloved franchise. Silent Hill could be a beloved franchise. I wouldn't say Legend of Dragoon. So that right there tells me it's not going to be Legend of Dragoon, because that is not a beloved franchise. It's a niche. It's a niche game. It didn't sell. When I mean a niche game, it didn't sell too well, and it's like a very hardcore. I ain't gonna use the word hardcore. it's a small group that really wants it. It's not like there's like 10 million people that want Ninja Dragoon. It's just a small group of us. So I ain't gonna say a beloved franchise. So a beloved franchise might be a big popular franchise. It could be Metal Gear, right? Could be Silent Hill. I don't know. We're just gonna have to see. We're just gonna have to see and let them do their thing, right? But it's good because it's a studio that needed backing from a big publisher, right? And they done great work. They got nurtured in the PlayStation ecosystem. Beloved game, not franchise, yeah. Siphon Filter, that could be it, right? SOCOM, I'm telling you, I have a feeling Guerrilla's doing SOCOM. I just don't know. I just have that feeling, right? I have that feeling Guerrilla is making SOCOM. I just have that feeling. But I think it's Guerrilla. And the only reason why is because shortly after Horizon Zero Dawn, Guerrilla hired the lead devs that did Rainbow Six Siege. The lead devs that did Rainbow Six Siege are now working in Guerrilla. So you're obviously doing something. And it isn't a single player game. You're specifically doing something multiplayer. It's just that Guerrilla is really low-key quiet on that. You know? And mostly probably because they want to have Horizon Zero Dawn in the limelight. I would imagine a couple of months after Horizon Zero Dawn is out, we'll probably hear more about their next project. But right now it's all about Horizon, not just Horizon Zero Dawn, but Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon Forbidden West. So I think after we play Horizon Forbidden West, it's already out, maybe 3 months. They're going to let it cook for a little bit out in the market. Then they'll start maybe throwing teasers on their next game. But they have to be working a multiplayer game because that's why they hired this. Now, I ain't going to say SOCOM. It's more like wishing, right? I don't think it's going to be Killzone. Could be a totally new IP. So it's either going to be a new IP or SOCOM. But I don't think it's going to be Killzone. I think Killzone's done. But Bluepoint's a good fit, right? The main thing in question now is this. Is this the same as the conversation of people not wanting Microsoft to buy up all the studios? Is that the same thing? So, of course, you see them be like, oh, it's okay for Sony to buy studios, but not okay for Microsoft. That's not... Man, you know, it's really hard talking to these dudes, man. Because they just don't understand the whole overall concept and conversation, right? Like, for example, buying Ninja Theory. No one had a problem with that. When they bought Compulsion, nobody had a problem with that. When they bought Playground, nobody had a problem with that, right? And the reason why is Playground needed a publisher, and they mostly make Xbox games. No big deal. You just bought a studio that was already, for the most part, exclusively supporting Xbox, right? Ninja Theory made multiplats, but not many people bought their games, for the most part. And they're an indie developer. They didn't have the backing of a big publisher. So Ninja Theory was always in danger of just one game flopping, and that's it. It's over. Ninja Theory's gone. You know, the studio's success was on a game-by-game basis. By Microsoft now, by them now being part of Microsoft first-party studios, they can have a bad game. In fact, they did have a bad game. Bleeding Edge. Imagine if Ninja Theory self-published Bleeding Edge. Even though it was a multiplat, but they self-published it. Oh my God, that's it. The game flopped. It will be over. There'll be no more Ninja Theory. Nobody was going to buy that shit. Hell nah. That game was flopped. And that's it. It's over. It was over. But guess what? Because they're under Microsoft, you can take those bumps, right? There's a certain level of success and failure that publishers will tolerate before they close you down. You know, you got a little bit of breathing room. But when you're on your own and your success is game by game every single time, Ninja Theory would have been done with Bleeding Edge. That would have been it. It's over, right? Take for example, the Gears of War creator, Cliff Brzezinski. That one game he made on his indie studio flopped. I forgot what it was called. And that's it. It's over. That's just how it is. That's just how life is when you're on your own and you don't have the big backing of a big publisher. Your every game is a make or break it, right? So I thought Ninja Theory was a good purchase by Microsoft because there's a little safety net for Ninja Theory. So I thought it was a good pull. Bethesda, I thought it was a good purchase overall because supposedly Bethesda has some issues with some of their studios. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could say Skyrim, Elder Scrolls and Fallout and, doing whatever that were once multiplats are now just limited to Lawbreakers. Yeah, that was the game, Lawbreakers. It flopped. And Cliff Bleszinski's dream of having his own studios fell apart on that one game, right? But back to the thing, I get it. But I think overall, I thought Bethesda was a good purchase, right? For the most part, right? All the studios remained intact. It is what it is. But once you start diving deep into 2K, EA, Square Enix, Capcom, Ubisoft, now that's pointless, right? Now you're not buying studios to help create more games. You're just automatically trying to keep it off another platform, right? I never agreed with Sony trying to buy Square Enix. It doesn't make sense. Because as the PlayStation gamer, we're getting the games anyway. Like, you're not going to get more games because Sony bought Square Enix. All the games are coming to PlayStation anyway. So it's not like it now increases more game content. All it means is there's definitely not coming to Xbox. That's all it does. And I don't see that as a benefit to the PlayStation gamer. A game not coming to Xbox is not a benefit to the PlayStation gamer. So it doesn't make sense. Buying Bluepoint, buying Insomniac, that makes sense. Because those things are creating content and leveraging, right? For example, we got a great Spider-Man, a big blockbuster Spider-Man. A Spider-Man that Activision was simply not delivering because of Sony. And the relationship they have with Insomniac was able to be the dev to do it. That's creating content for the community. And I know people are going to say, well, Spider-Man was for everybody. Everybody was not buying Spider-Man. The game was trash on the Activision umbrella. There was only a few or far between that was decent at best. But there was no big Game of the Year level, a game that was actually being nominated for Game of the Year level Titan. Spider-Man. We never had that. Ever. The Spider-Man before Insomniac took over sold a little over 1 million. And that game was on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. It was on 5 platforms. And it sold 1 million. So who did Spider-Man get taken away from? It got taken away from nobody. Majority of people didn't care. They were terrible games. Or at best average. Majority of people weren't playing them. Even if we can argue a few games, like, oh, no, Shattered Dimensions was great, or Web of Shadows was great, nitpick. When you look at the sales of those games, people didn't care. You didn't have 10 million people bought Web of Shadows or Shattered Dimensions or any of them. I think the highest selling one was like the PlayStation 2 one at 4 million. Maybe 5. Which was Spider-Man 2 or something like that. That was probably the biggest Spider-Man that we were able to get. And again, that was across all platforms. Multiplat. The Spider-Man that was provided with Insomniac and the deal with Sony, that made that Spider-Man is the most played Spider-Man in the history of the Spider-Man games. Over 20 million sold. 20 million people playing that game. No other Spider-Man did that. So, in actuality, Sony helped foster and create, with the decision from Insomniac to create a Spider-Man that people actually gave a shit about to the point it was nominated for 2018 Game of the Year. Obviously, it lost. God of War is a beast, winning the majority of the awards, and then Red Dead was also there, so those are beasts. But the fact that it was nominated, you ain't have Web of Shadows or Shattered Dimensions nominated for a goddamn thing. Hell nah. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. When a publisher buys a developer that can foster new content and provide experiences that we have not gotten or wasn't going to get, That's a benefit. You know, even if it's just exclusive to that ecosystem, in case of Xbox, just Xbox consoles, xCloud, and PC, that's fine. Because at least we have something. If by them purchasing a studio that creates new content that otherwise would have never existed, that's good. You understand what I'm saying? That's great. Same thing with PlayStation. If they bought studios that can help deliver new content that otherwise would have not been made, that's great. But buying Square Enix, buying Capcom, buying 2K, Take-Two, buying Ubisoft, buying EA, that's not going to foster anything. That's not going to create new content. They are self-sustaining. They are fine. They're going to make games. There's no reason to mess with them, right? At that point, it's just simply to absorb the library and keep it off another platform, which is silly, I think, point. At that point, it's just silly. Go after the studios that could potentially create more content if they had the backing of a publisher. That's who they should be going after. Both sides. Doesn't matter who. Go after the publishers that have bright ideas, you know, but sometimes they're too scared to do it because, again, one game could completely end their company. That's who I see is the best, you know, on fit. You know? I know there's rumors once again. Silent Hill being popped up with Kojima. You know, it is what it is. I hope it's true, but I'm not going to linger. Henry Liao, he says, thank you for the super chat. What I like about your points is that they're about the present, not how things may be. Neutral gamers shouldn't take things so personally. I absolutely agree. Your first point, they're about the present. Exactly. There's way too much hope when it comes to some people's conversations. It's all about what could be, what could be, what could be. Like, goddamn, why don't we just talk about what's actually happening, what's been happening? You know? And neutral gamers shouldn't take things so personally. They do. Oh, they do. What happened to Abandoned? It got abandoned. Dark Queen Gaming. What's good? What's good, Queen? What's up? Thank you. Hey, don't forget to hit the like button. All right. So, Bluepoint, good stuff. Who's that dude? What's his name? Garrett, whatever. Oh my God. I seen the tweets he did. My man said that Sony announcing the purchase of Bluepoint was because of the lackluster holiday season they have, or the lack of games. Oh my God, that is a terrible tweet. That is a terrible tweet. That is a terrible hot take. Oh my God, these dudes. I'm so glad he rocks Xbox. It's always the Xbox dudes that come up with the craziest points. And I'm so glad they stay on that side of the house. Because, yo, if he would have been a PlayStation gamer, I would have been like, oh, I would have been embarrassed. I would have been like, oh my God. And then, his point was, it was all about marketing. And keeping the console fresh in the presses. And that is what helps sell consoles. Yo, man, these dudes are lost in the sauce, bro. Let me help my mans out. Like, bro. No one gives a damn about studio purchases. The majority of people in November, during the biggest month of console sales, because November is traditionally where the most consoles are sold, ain't no dude or dudette gonna go in there and be like, yo, what was the last company that announced an acquisition? Oh, it was PlayStation. Oh, it was PlayStation? They're the ones that announced they bought a new studio? Yeah, okay, so let me get a PS5. Because of announcements. Because they're the ones that announced that they bought a studio. So since they were the last one to have bought a studio, that's the console I'm buying. So give me a PS5. Oh, but you know what that's everybody's next? Nah, Microsoft ain't announced no new acquisition, so nah. I need that PS5 because they announced an acquisition. It's about acquisitions. That's why we buy consoles for, because we read about acquisitions on the internet. And since PlayStation was the last one, that means I'm buying the console now this November. When Microsoft announces more acquisitions, I'll buy their shit because that's what's happening. Oh my God. Yo, these dudes are crazy. I'm going to say this again. It's the damn games, bro. Yo, it's the games, man. I'm going to tell you. Even in November, Miles Morales is going to be impactful on the sales of the PlayStation 5. That is why that game every single month is always on the best sellers. Whether it's MPD or the UK charts, it's always top 10. Sometimes it shoots back to number 1, depending how many PS5 inventories is that month. It's constantly being sold, and I'm telling you, Miles Morales is going to be a heavy hitter this November because they want that game, bro. People want to play that game, and they want to play it on the PS5. They want to play that game at its best. That game is a straight-up system seller. Even the 2018 Spider-Man didn't consistently stay on the charts month after month. You know? What's crazy is they're saying, oh, so Sony doesn't have a holiday lineup. Yes, they do. Because all the games Sony released throughout the year is going to be new to the people who are buying the console for the first time. They're going to look on the shelf and they're going to see the library that's been built since November last year. All those games are new to the consumer who are getting their PlayStation 5 for the first time. So PlayStation's holiday lineup is the library that's been built for these new gamers. That's Miles Morales. That's Ghost of Tsushima. That's Godfall. That's Ratchet and Clank. That's Returnal. That's Kena. Deathloop. It's the entire built library that when you walk in the store and you look on the shelf, it's brow. Brow. It's just brow. They look, boom. They're like, wow, look at all this shit. And then they look at the Xbox. You're going to show them, hey, Fallout 4 at 120 frames. What, man? If you don't get your ass out of here. They're going to put Fallout 4 in a new box that says Xbox. Man, if you don't get your shit out of here, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. That shit's not even sellable. That's the reality. The holiday lineup for PlayStation for new gamers that's going to decide. Hell, some of them already made the decision. The decision is already done. It's just waiting for Black Friday or November deals. It's already done. The majority of dudes already made the decision. They're getting a PlayStation. You already see it. I ain't seen more tweets of dudes be like, man, I finally got my PS5. I hardly see I got my Xbox Series X. There's hardly any dude saying that. Ain't nobody jumping up and be like, I got my Series X. No. Shit went spooky. It went spooky, bro. MPD unlock. Dudes already made the decision. Majority, they're getting a PS5 for the next generation console. And it's because of just the games. Because they see it. They see the Twitter. They see on Twitter all the videos being posted and the images. But more importantly, PlayStation dudes actually play their games, bro. They're not dibble-dabbling. They're not like, I'm saving money. No, they're playing the games and they're beating them. And because they're playing the games and beating them, they're having discussions. Because they're having discussions, you know, the people don't own any of these consoles. They're jumping into these discussions and they're listening. And they're getting hyped. Dudes are hyped to get a PlayStation 5 this holiday season. The decision is done. Yo, it's crazy. You know, now I'm going to tell you, I have dudes, right? I have dudes, or a lot of them, right? And I keep it in confidence, right? Because they're being serious, right? But plenty have went in my DMs, Xbox dudes, right? Xbox dudes, good people, right? Not trolls. These dudes, they don't troll. They don't participate. They don't talk shit. They don't talk shit about PlayStation either. So, right? They're legit. A lot of them, you know. They stay low key. They watch the podcast. They watch Xbox podcasts. If they make a comment, it's a serious comment. They don't go out or thrash anything. But they just come. I don't know why they come to my timeline, but they were like, yo, Porter, you were right, bro. I'm going to be honest. They say, hey, I love overall Xbox, right? But they admit that this whole Xbox and Game Pass didn't turn out what they thought it'd be. They said they're playing their PlayStation 5 more than they really are playing their Xbox and Game Pass. You know, they said they're still looking forward, you know, they're being honest, they're looking forward to what Xbox has done, but right now, right, they are enjoying their PlayStation 5 because one, graphically, they said it's the same. They're not going to cap and say one's better than the other. They said there's no way you could tell the difference. They're being honest, and I knew that was going to happen. They said you put on a PlayStation 5 game, you put on a Xbox Series game, they both graphically look great on their TV. There's nothing discerning. Frame rate, they said nothing. It's the same to them. It's the same shit. But what's compelling to them is the actual games that they get to play. You know, they love Returnal. They love Ratchet and Clank, you know. They said, well, Xbox with Game Pass is just a library of stuff that, for the most part, they feel forced to play because they got to play something since they're paying $15 a month. To them, that's what it is. You know, for them, and this is how they explain it, multiple people explain it this way, that Game Pass feels like you have to kind of use it because you already prepay for it. So you might as well do something on it. So rather than the service pull you in, you're throwing yourself at it because if you don't, then why are you giving $15 a month for? You know, that's how they feel. Some of them said they unsubscribed and they'll resubscribe once Xbox has all their games or whatever. But right now they're playing the PS5s because it has bangers. And I'd be like, yo, bro, you know, and I said, hey, I mean, I've told them I don't know what to say, you know, but hey, don't worry about it. Microsoft will get their stuff together. And I remind them, you're a multi-console owner, so either way, that's the whole point. You got two consoles, and when one is not doing good, well, you jump on the other one. And when the other one's not doing good, you jump on the other one, you know? You play on the one that's on the hot streak. And in the end, you're good, you know? So you'll be all right. And then they're like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because there might be a time PlayStation 5 may not be so hot, and Xbox Series X is on a hot streak. Boom. Do your thing. So you're ultimately not losing anything because that's the whole point. So I reminded them, you know, ultimately you're not losing because that's the whole point of being a multi-console. Now, if you only own the Xbox, yeah, life might suck for you. But you got both, you'll go back and forth, you'll be all right. But that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? PlayStation 5 came in smoking. Here's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to this right here. Next graph. I'm just going to put this. I'll put this for the jokes. It's all about the jokes, right? Twitter Spaces. Let's talk about them Twitter Spaces. Are y'all enjoying the Twitter Spaces? Y'all really liking Twitter Spaces? Hit that like button. Hit that like button if you hate Twitter Spaces. Hit that like button if you think it's the worst idea, at least as far as gaming goes, that's ever been created. Let's see how fast my like button, let's see how fast the like jumps. We got 228 people. If you think Twitter Spaces is a mistake for the community, hit the like button. I'm not saying that it's not comedy, because it still be comedy. But when you look at it holistically, you realize, oh, this shit's a mistake. Like, it's really going to make... Like, if you felt the gaming community didn't look bad enough, now we got that shit live. Like, this is really bringing out the worst in us. Hit the like button if you like the image. Now, I'm going to tell you this. So, I said I was going to create a Twitter Spaces, and I had this title. I'm not going to say the name of the title because I don't want nobody to steal it. It's a funny, yes, it's an antagonizing title. It antagonizes. It's going to get, you know, these Xbox fanboys in their feels. They're going to be like, they see the title, they're going to be like this. They're going to be like this. They're going to look at that title, they're going to be like this. This motherfucker won't leave Xbox alone, bro. They're going to be like, God damn it, bro. Like, this dude don't chill. Like, yo, this dude's always talking Xbox, bro. They're going to be like this, yo, bro. Like, for real, son. The kids are going to be in the background. Daddy, can you, man? Yo, shut up, bro. I ain't got time. Tell your mom to help you with your homework, bro. I'm focusing. I'm doing something. And you're just going to be like, yo, man, this just can't leave things alone, bro. Like, yo, just go play Deathloop or some shit, bro. Like, for real, go get an AK TV. Why you gotta be doing this, bro? Leave Xbox alone. You know, for a dude that's all about Blaze, yo, they're gonna be heated if they see that title. They're gonna be mad. You ain't gonna like it. It's gonna be funny. Dudes are gonna be in their fields. It's a great title. Everybody's gonna jump on. Right? But right now I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. The glove contains all the receipts. Facts. You know what I'm saying? Receipts are my infinity stones. I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it at all. He says you're going to receive death threats. Well, dude's already trying to dox me. A dumb dude, bro. Let me tell you the dude that tried to dox me. He tried to dox me by doing a Google search of PorterRock77 at yahoo.com in New York. As if I actually have an email that's going to be exactly as my Twitter handle. Like, oh my God, or my handle. Like, are you serious, bro? Like, yo, yes, y'all so dumb. Y'all dumb as hell. People are like, oh, they're going to dox you. Like, these guys are so simple-minded. What's funny is he did get a hit. So somebody does have that email. And the person's from New York. But it wasn't me. So I was like, yo, I hope that dude who has nothing to do with this, they don't mess with him. I was like, it sucks. But PorterRock77 is not my email. My email's nowhere near. You're not going to figure out my email. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to tell you why it's not going to be figured out. Because over the last 10 years, even longer, one of the biggest concerns the military had was people returning from deployment and being targeted by terrorists here in this country, right? Back in the U.S. through social media. In fact, there was one time a list came out. ISIS published a list of military members and their addresses. That was, compiled through social media and through social engineering. Right? Luckily, thank God nothing came from it, but it happened. So, of course, the military trains us. Hey, these are the things you got to do to protect your social media, your bank accounts, social engineering. So I took all those lessons, right? And, because I don't want no fucking terrorists come knock on my door and, kill my wife or my kids or whatever. So you ain't going to figure it out. You see what I'm saying? So it isn't something simple. So when he did that, I was like, whoa, this dude really did the most, right? Got another dude who posted a picture I posted on Twitter years ago, maybe 2 years ago. I was on the Marine Corps ball. And so you had to scroll through my timeline for a long time to find that picture. Well, he found it, and he started making fun of my wife. I'm like, yo, these dudes are really hurt. OPSEC, there you go, mighty guy 87. That's exactly what the trainers do. Operational security. So I ain't worried about that. You see what I'm saying? But anyway. Damn, where was I at? Oh, so Twitter Spaces. So anyway. So yeah, this will antagonize. This will antagonize the brand, right? But here's my thing. I always said, and many of you probably remember, that it's one thing to type on Twitter, because people can talk all the nonsense. Half of them don't even argue or at least debate or talk the merit of the thread. They create their own argument. They make up an argument that you didn't say, and they try to argue and say that you're wrong when that's not what you said in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They do weird shit right there. But I always said that when you get behind the mic, that's when the BS stops. Because you're talking, right? And that's why I always liked it podcasting and talking on a podcast. Because that's when the bullshit stops. Well, that don't apply to Twitter Spaces. Because in Twitter Spaces, listening to the conversations some of these dudes have, they literally are saying the same things they would type on Twitter. Like the dumb shit they say is literally being saying now over the mic. And it blows my mind that that's how they talk and conversate. They're using Twitter banter live on Twitter Spaces. Like, whoa, it's like reading tweets. It's like reading the ridiculous tweets, but they're saying it live. Like, yo. And I'm looking like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. Like, you can't debate stupidity or silliness. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot debate. Listen, you cannot have a conversation or debate or argue with a person who made a ridiculous point. Ridiculous points cannot be debated because they're so ridiculous. And what ends up happening is the longer you stay in that conversation, you start ending up looking dumb. Like, you can't have a conversation with a fool. Like, if a person wanted to argue with me, right? And say, nah, Puerto Rock, 1 + 1 is 3, dog. Or even better, they're like, nah, Puerto Rock, 1 + 1 is 11. I'm going to be like, 1 + 1 is 11. The fuck you talking about? Like, 1 + 1 is 11. 1 + 1, 11. See? You can't argue with a dude like that. You got to walk away. Because if you try to argue with that dude, you're going to lose. And losing meaning you're going to look stupid. Because the conversation is going to go left. And they're going to bring up ridiculous points that don't exist, but they're going to make it seem like it's legit. There's no way to have a debate. You got to walk away. You can't associate with yourself. Yo, them dudes will do that. I'm not lying. That's the level of logic these dudes are presenting. 1 + 1 is 11 because if you get 1 and you add another 1 and you look at it, it's 11. Oh my God. There's no way you could win that. You can't win. You can't have a serious life conversation with a mentality like that. You just got to be like, yo, son. Like, yo. Like, nah. I'll let you be, bro. These are the dudes that will try to argue that the number 11 shouldn't be 11. And be like, the hell are you talking about? What do you mean 11? You be like leave it skate. You talking Xbox. You be like, hey, yo, Puerto Rock. I be like, yo, what's up? What's good? Yo, 11 should not have been called 11. That's bullshit. 11 should have been called 11. The fuck you talking about? Dog, listen to what I'm saying, right? What's 2-1 together? 21. 21, right. What's 3-1? 31. That's right. 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, keep going. All right, 41, 51, 61, 71, 81, 91. Exactly. So why is 11 11? Because it's 11, 12. What should it be? It's supposed to be 1-1. What? 1-1, 21, 31. Dead ass, bro. That's how it should be. You see? That's the type of people you're dealing with in Twitter Spaces. It's them. They will logically make the illogical sound logical. No, bro. I can't do that, man. I ain't got the energy for that, man. Like, for real. This is why I'm like, I don't know about this Twitter Spaces shit. Because that's literally the conversations that are happening. That's literally what's happening on Twitter Spaces. Dudes are talking, trying to convince people 11 is 1-1. No, we're not doing that, bro. We're not gonna have a Twitter Space talking about 1-1. No, man. Man, I can't. No, go, bro. I can't do that, bro. That's Twitter Spaces, bro, and they're serious. No. We're not going to try to have a 1 hour Twitter space trying to prove to the world there's 1-1. No, hell no, man. I'm not doing that shit. Get out of here. This shit gone left behind the mic. I used to get comfort knowing that this was sacred and that people who try to talk behind this, they're going to bring their A game. That shit is gone, bro. There's no safe haven. Like, yo, I don't know about that. If I do a spaces I'm just going to lock it to me and no one else is going to talk. Nobody, not even PlayStation dudes. It's just going to be me. It's going to be like a church sermon. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. It's going to be a church sermon. And everybody's just going to listen and then the spaces end. There's no way I'm going to argue about 1v1. Oh, no, bro. No, man. I'm not doing that. Hell no. Yo. Everybody's laughing at 1v1. Yo, but that's it, bro. Oh, 21, 31, 41. It's supposed to be 1v1. Bro, no. Stay quiet. Oh my God, that shit's irking me, bro. Can't do it. I don't know about this Twitter space. I don't know if I'm gonna do it. If I do it, listen, I want to warn everybody now. If I do it, I'm gonna allow anybody to speak. It's gonna be a sermon. It's just gonna be me. I'm gonna say my thing and I'm gonna dip out. I'm not gonna have this craziness. No. It's yo. I'm sorry. It's ooh. Oh my God, bruh. Tell me that, yo, it's wild. You know what I'm saying? Do I consider myself a man-child? The fuck? Y'all some weirdos up in here. I got some weird questions up in here. You can still have guests like Cody and Luca. You know? But then I could do that on a podcast. You see what I'm saying? I could do that on a podcast. Usually Twitter Spaces usually trying to access people that normally wouldn't be on a podcast, right? That's the thing. Shout out to my little brother. Game Pass. That's the only way I could get him to Thanksgiving dinner. You understand what I'm saying? You know? They're going to be like, mira, ¿dónde está Nenito? Nenito. Hold on. I'll get him here. I'll get him here to the table. I got him. I pay for games. Blow! Doc. Hey, Game Pass. Boom. He'll show up right there. This guy yell out, I pay full price for games. Boom. Doc is there. Letting y'all know. Y'all ain't on that Game Pass? That's it. Yeah, I'm by myself, Doctor. I'm just here bullshitting live. You know, the podcast is usually Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? Oh, if you want to hop on. Hold on, let me put the mic up. If you're coming through, just jump in the room. In fact, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you something. We're going to have a conversation. Let me ask you a quick question. Yeah, Doc Dark up in here. So you're more than welcome. Of course. So let's see. I'm gonna ask my baby bro a quick question.
Yo,
hey, yo, papa, ¿cómo está?
what's up, papi? Tranquilo, man. Yo, we miss you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, man. You're gone for too long, bro.
The shit went crazy, bro. Shit went left. What's going on, bro? The Twitter Spaces?
Bro, you're the only one that controls that freaking nation over there. They went buck wild, bro.
I'm just saying, yo, I'm like, yo, this is wild, bro. How's the family? The family, everything's good?
No, todo tranquilo, gracias a Dios, man. You know how it is. Always blessed, bro.
Nice,
so I can't complain, man.
It's coquito season. It's coming, bro.
It sure is. You ain't lying.
Okay. Yo, let's get hot and heavy. I gotta ask you something.
Let's go. What's up?
I'm gonna ask you, right? I'm just asking you.
Bro, you missed a lot. I
know,
bro.
but I'm gonna ask you some reason. How do you feel? And just give me your personal opinion, right? I know it doesn't really matter, right? Because most people don't have 8K TVs, right? So it's not about the game of being able to play it. But how do you feel that there is a particular game that is both on Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5, but the developer was able to do 8K 60 on the PS5, but on Xbox Series X, due to the memory architecture, they were only able to get 6K 60. How does that make you feel? Even though the game is whatever. It's an indie game. Got it. It's not a big popular game. It isn't a big AAA. Got it. But just on the merit that one game that is not that Xbox Series X and this one game is not performing on equal footing. What do you think about that? Even though the game, is not important. It's nothing to cap at. But it's just more on the capability of these consoles, especially while we were told. You and I were told the same shit. You even heard all the stuff we heard. You heard the same shit I heard.
Yeah.
How do you feel just another example of things not playing out as advertised?
Okay, so
this guy's like, man, bro. You already came. Like, you can't give me a break or some shit.
No, you can't make it hard. And you gotta change the picture. You gotta do the one where you're like in the clouds and shit.
Oh yeah, that one, bro. Yo, you know what?
The mascot one.
That one. Yo, I got that one too.
You wild.
Yo,
you wild.
Them shits is funny, yo. I don't mind. Them shits is funny.
No, listen. I give this is what I said on my channel. You got to give PlayStation its props for that. And I don't want to hear it doesn't matter. Like, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear there's no people don't have 8K TVs. I don't want to hear the software doesn't actually run the game at 8K. Like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it because those are the same excuses that we fought you guys when we were telling you guys of how many games we have at 120 frames. The argument you guys would make is, well, how many people have 120 frames?
Not me. I didn't make
how many
that.
people have 120
Remember,
frames?
I gave you props for that. Remember, I even said it's because Xbox did it better when it came to backwards competitively. So I admit it. But you're right. There's a lot of PlayStation dudes that said the same thing. Not that many people have 120, and I'm like, that's not the point. But that's right. Not
so the same thing with this game running at 8K. Like, to me, it does matter. I want to know why, and all it is it's another show that the Xbox Series X is not the most powerful console, and we've been seeing that over and over and over again. So you know what? We got to take this out and just drop that whole power narrative. And I've been telling people on my channel, like, just give it to Sony. Just give it to Sony, because what we're really fighting on right now is just the value proposition, which I still don't see how so many of you guys deny the value that is Game Pass. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's just incredible. Like, big bro, you gotta hop on, bro. You want me to send you a Series S? I'll send you an S, bro. And I'll get you 6 months of Game Pass for free, bro. Like, what do you want me to do, man? Like, you gotta try this thing out, bro. You gotta play Infinite with me. Can you play Infinite with me, man, bro? It's fire.
That shit, man. Fuck Halo.
Oh my god, bro, it's fire, bro.
You got shit takes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
God.
You're a psychopath, bro. You're a psychopath. You're a psychopath. You know what I'm saying? You're a serial killer. Serial killers play Halo. You know
but back to the subject real quick. It does matter. So I don't want to hear you say it doesn't matter. I don't want to hear nobody else say it doesn't matter. I want to hear the excuses of something is done first. The system is whatever, whether it's rendering it or whatever at 8K. That's a big deal. To me, it's a big deal. It does matter. I don't care how it's doing it. It matters, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You know why he's saying that? Because he's Boricua, and at a certain point, enough is enough, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the game itself is nothing to cap at, right?
Yeah.
But it's like it's no one's capping for an indie game. But again, with the conversation dudes have over a year. I'm talking going back to 2020, right? Right? You would think Xbox would run this game at 12K 60. Because that was like literally almost a conversation. Some people were calling the PS5 the PS4 Pro. Meaning it's not even a true next-gen console because it doesn't have RDNA 2 and all this shit, right? And I've been trying to say, listening to AAA devs, they were telling us you're not going to see a big difference. Some games will be better on Xbox Series X. Some games will be better on PS5. It's just simply development, but they're very close. It could go either way on a game-by-game basis. And I was like, yo, I'm going to listen to the AAA devs. That's what they're saying. I'm going to believe them. Because they're the ones making the games, so they know better. But you got these fake devs coming out of the blue. Like, you've noticed that? Everybody's a dev on Twitter. And you're thinking...
Yeah.
And you ask them what game you made, and then they disappear or they block you. Like, bro, I just asked you what game you made, bro. Why you block me? Like, yo, like, oh yeah, I'm a developer. Oh, cool. What game you made? Blocked. Like what? like what? Like what? Like what the hell was that? I just want to know what game you made. Like, that didn't insult you. You say you were a developer. Okay, what project you worked on? Let me check it out. Let me see what you did. Blocked.
I'm like, yeah, let me tell you, ever since those spaces, that block button has gotten heavy, bro. People blocking people left and right, bro.
So since we took a spaces, what's your impression of spaces? How has it? Because I haven't heard a lot of it. Most of it is during my work. Because I see, like, I look real quick on Twitter, whatever, during my break, 5 minutes, 10 minutes here, and I see spaces, and I'm like, oh my God, these dudes are doing spaces now? So what's like, y'all don't work, bro?
Yo, they don't
2-3 hour spaces.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it either. They be in there forever. When do they have time to play games?
I don't I'm like, it's crazy. So what's your been impression on these spaces from what you hear?
Right, so when I've hopped on maybe like 3 and I was able to talk on 1. Like I was able to talk on Luca had 1 and I was able to talk on it, whatever. Obviously Code had 1. I was able to talk on it for a little bit, but no, man, it's just the problem is that you don't even know like who's gonna get on, right? Like you just allow them to talk,
it's the most random people.
And it goes off the rails, bro. But I'm not gonna lie to you, it's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie, because
it's a disaster. It's such a disaster that you're like, this is the funniest shit ever. Like I see some of the people commenting like if it was a sports event, like people are tweeting. Just making, this dude really said this. And I'm like, what's he talking about? I'm like, there must be a spaces. I'm like, it is funny, bro. People are doing like play-by-play accounts of what's happening in spaces. And some of the comments are like, I cannot believe these people are talking like this.
Yeah, and then sometimes they get like really disrespectful. You know how that goes, man. It's just like, okay, here we go.
Because you're behind the internet. You know what I'm saying? That's just the nature of the game, man. People feel safe behind the mic and behind the thing, right?
Yeah, it just makes me laugh more than anything, man. But but Cole be on it, bro. Cole be holding like a space like 3 times a day. I'm being facetious with that movie. Yeah. If there's one thing I give to Cole though is he allows everybody to talk. Yeah. So he'll have like known Xbox dudes like talk and everything like that. He's cool about that. So So that's cool, but I don't know. But let me ask you something. So you asked me a question. I want to ask you a question, and I gave you a no cap answer. All right, so here we go. All right. So what's up with? How do you feel about? And if you don't feel a certain way, then it is what it is. Just be honest. Right. How do you feel about Sony already coming out with a different, even though it was a small tweak, a different tweak to the PS5 with that heat sink? Now, I know they made it better, but how do you feel for someone that had bought the system at launch? Like, do you feel like why would they do that? Like, why wouldn't they wait till they had the right heat sink? Or do you feel like they tested it out on you guys and then figured out that there was a better way to doing it and now revised it? Like, just how do you feel?
Okay. That's a great question. Now, I don't feel one way or another, but I'm going to explain why. It's because I already know, going back to the PlayStation 2, that's how they do business. I could have told you. If you would have asked me, even before the console launch, and you asked me, hey, when do you think Sony's going to revise a console? Maybe do a small tweak, whatever. I could tell you maybe within the next 6 months or 7 months. I could have told you that. I could have told you that within the next 6 or 7 months, there's going to be a new revised PlayStation out. So, if you're worried about the first model, I would have told you, wait 6, 7 months, 8 months, a new one's going to come out, revised. I could have told you that. I could have been told you that. They always do that. Now, I'm going to tell you why, right? When they launch these consoles, they launch it at a loss, right? They sell these consoles at a loss every time, right? Okay?
Yeah.
The only way they could make these consoles, towards profitability is they have to remanufacture it. So the moment they launched the console, they're already, even before they launched the console officially, they were probably already looking at the redesign, and the console's not even out yet. Like, they already have what they redesigned, and they're already producing it, manufacturing it, getting ready for launch. While they're doing that, they are already looking into a revised model. They're looking at vendors, what tweaks we can make to make it cheaper, and also be able to produce more. Now that they have the new revised model, right? I guarantee once they made the decision on the revised model, they are working on a new revised model. And the revised model just came out, right? Because with the next revised model, it's going to help them get cheaper. They are going to keep doing it until they get their console to profitability. They always done that. They are always making tweaks to make the console manufacturer cheaper. So that way that $500 price drop, which they're losing at every console sold now becomes a profit, because let's say it only cost them $450 to put together, or $400. They have to do that all the time, right? And then when they manufacture it down to the point where they're like, you know what? It only cost us $350 to make this console. Like, let's say within 2 years. Hey, PlayStation price cut. Now it's $450. And that's when you know. When you see the price cuts, it's because they already got the console down to the point where they're making mad money off it. So now they're willing to lose $50 because, you know what I'm saying? So Sony always been that way. Sony always been that way, going back to that. The PlayStation 4, their first revised model was within a year. And they were able to get profit within a year. So they always done that. So that's why I know what I was doing. When I bought the console, I knew within months, you know what I'm saying, they were going to make a revised model. But the reason why I still bought it at launch is because I went so long not getting no upgrade. Like I said, I didn't buy the Pro. I didn't think it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get a Xbox One X because I didn't think it was worth it either. So I was stuck with the PlayStation 4 literally since 2015. You know what I'm saying? And it's 2020. I'm like, I need some new shit. So I said, fuck it. I'm going to get my new shit. You know what I'm saying? But I already knew they were going to do a revised model, but it didn't bother me. I need to get some new shit. So that's why I was eager to jump. But if you would have asked me, bro, you know, how long do you think they're going to do revised model? I would have told you if you wait till next year, you'll get a new revised model. So it doesn't bother me. You know, that's just how they always, you know. At the end of the day, most users won't know the difference. They just won't know the difference. Like right now, if I bought the new model and the old model and I put it next to it and you play the game, you wouldn't know which one is which.
Yeah, that's true.
You're not gonna really know the difference, right? Sure, the new model runs a little bit cooler, but as long as the original model right now, you know, like I said, I was playing on the regular PlayStation 4. You know how loud that motherfucker gets. I always said, man, this motherfucker sounds like I'm on a flight line. And shit.
Bro, I got a Pro. This thing is loud as hell.
It's loud as hell, right? My PlayStation 5 is quiet as fuck. That's it. So it doesn't matter about the new revised model. The one I got is perfect, bro. It's quiet. I don't hear shit. The games run great. The new model does the same exact job. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's just nitpicking because of videos and temperature checks, but in reality, one or the other is the same thing. So that's why. So that's my explanation on why it don't bother me, because it really doesn't matter much. Sony does this all the time. Even now, they're already working on a new revised model. And then by next year, I will say after the holidays, I will say by next June, the third revision is going to be out.
Damn, that's crazy. Okay, so this is standard Sony protocol.
If you already know, if you're into paying attention to this stuff, next year they'll probably have another revised model, right? And then maybe after that, they probably won't revise it until, like, if they decide to do like a slim model. That'll probably be their next revision. So they'll probably do 2 more revised models that look the same, and then they'll bring out the slim, which will be a very big difference in terms of size and shit like that. Because, you know, that's the slim. I don't know if they're going to do a Pro this gen. I think they won't, in my opinion. Because I don't think the Pro, PS4 Pro, or I don't think the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, from a business perspective, did what they thought it was going to do. I don't think it did, right? Because even after the Pro launched, the Slim was the biggest seller for them. So that was their driving force, right? And the Pro is anecdotal, but for the most part, the people who enjoyed the Pro more was people who were already on the PlayStation Network. So when you think about that, right? If you already had a PlayStation 4 and you upgraded to the Pro, you really didn't do anything for Sony, because you still had a PlayStation console and you were still buying the games. So it's not like you were buying more games because of the Pro, because you were going to buy those games anyway. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So they didn't get a new market.
Yeah, they didn't get. They didn't get a new person who was not on PlayStation. The new people going on PlayStation, they were buying the Slim. So all the new people were buying the Slim. All the people that already had a PlayStation were buying the Pro. So it's like, all right, that's why if you notice, the console, Sony and Microsoft, they cut off quick was their next gen refresh. Microsoft nixed the One X, Sony nixed the Pro. But they didn't stop making the Xbox One S and the PS4 Slim. They still making those. Because those are the ones that were selling the most. So they left those alive. But the Pro and the One X, they cut that shit quick. They're like, yeah, we done this shit. And nobody noticed that. Nobody noticed that they cut those 2 consoles quick. Like, you know, and if people are like, oh no, but they're concentrating on next gen, I'm like, all right, so why is the PS4 Slim and the One S still being made? Why don't they just cut everything off, period? Why do people have the option to buy a PS4 Slim if they want to? If they're worrying about next gen, they would have just cut everything off, and that's it. We're done.
Do you think people are actually like fully satisfied with the upgrades from last gen to this gen? This was one of the things I've noticed before you answer that question. This is one of the things I've noticed. Like, if we really want to talk realistically, games have been looking good for a while. The only thing that's missing in these games, honestly, is frames. That's it. So like, the fact that these consoles still have 30 frames per second modes is kind of like what disappoints me. So I don't know, but maybe we're just in a small echo chamber, so that's why we're thinking that way. So I think a refresh where every single game somehow, some way doesn't need like game boost or whatever the hell it's called, or whatever performance mode. Yeah, it's just the standard 60 across the board. Right. And then that 120 is the extra. You know what I mean? I think that'd be nice. Right. I don't know.
So I'll help you out with that. So let's say, take for example Ratchet and Clank, right? Yes. Right now it's 4K 40 if you enable 120 hertz. If you don't have 120 hertz TV, then it's 4K 30, right? The graphical fidelity, right? And we also use.
Wait. What Ratchet and Clank? The one on the PS5?
Yeah, the Rift Apart.
No, it's got a 60 frames mode.
No, you are. It does. But listen to what I'm saying, right? At the resolution mode, which is 4K 30, the graphical fidelity of that mode cannot be done in the 60 frames performance mode. There's going to be graphical effects they have to tone down, right? They can't get the highest level of graphical fidelity at 60 frames. That's why you have the 4K 30 mode, right? Same thing with like the Xbox. Let's say Forza coming out. You know, the resolution mode is 4K 30, but now they also have a performance mode that's 4K 60. But the 4K 60, I guarantee, is going to have graphical settings toned down. Because if the 4K 60 had the same exact graphical settings, then you don't need 4K 30 at all. The reason why there's a 4K 30 is because they maxed out the highest settings possible, but it can only run at 30 frames, right? These consoles are not powerful enough to run games at 4K 60 at that level of fidelity. That's why they have the performance mode, right? What they're telling you is, because like you said, if you cut the frames, you can boost up the graphics. That's really. So if you have a game that's 4K 30, it's because that's the highest fidelity modes they'll be able to get because they only run at 30 frames. You could get a 4K 60 mode, which is a performance mode, but they're toning down graphical effects. That's why you have performance mode. What you want is to have the graphical fidelity of 4K 30, but in a 4K 60 mode. These consoles can't do that. They just can't. They're $500 consoles. They can't. They're not 3080s. They're not. They're not $1,200 GPUs. We're expecting too much. And I know some people are disappointed, but you got to remember, it's only $500. You're only paying $500, which includes the CPU, which includes a controller, which includes the RAM memory,
motherboard, all that stuff, power supply,
power supply. Good, that's another thing, right? Wi-Fi cord, all this shit, right?
Bluetooth
adapters, all these things, right? SSDs
and a cooling solution.
Cooling solution and .2 drive embedded into the console. So you're getting all this stuff for $500. The PC GPU, even like a 3060 is like $700 by itself. You know what I'm saying? So to get that level of performance, you're not gonna get that on a $500 package. That includes everything. To include the HDMI cable, it's not gonna get that. You understand what I'm saying? These consoles will be limited to that level. But that still doesn't mean that performance mode, like the Spider-Man performance mode or Ratchet and Clank performance mode, still looks good. But if you really want that extra graphical fidelity, it's gonna have to be at 30 frames, and that's only a game by game basis, because a game like Ratchet or Forza Horizon, those games are playable at 30 frames. They're fine at 30 frames. Even Uncharted, they're fine at 30 frames, right? Other games are not fine at 30 frames. Like Call of Duty, you're not gonna play that game at 30 frames. It's just not gonna happen. But at the same time, you're not gonna get the highest graphical fidelities from a Call of Duty game. It's just not gonna happen. It's gonna be capped at what they can do at 60 frames. Console's only $500, which is not bad in my opinion, because when you think about it, some of these games have ray tracing and it looks good. And for $500, you really can't go wrong. That's a really cheap.
Yeah.
Like that's why I haven't built my PC yet. I'm looking around, man. These GPUs are like $1,800, and I'm like, I mean, I could buy it, but there's no killer game that I'm really like desperate to play on PC. Like, there's no game out there that's like, oh my god, I gotta play this right now. That makes me want to jump on an $1,800 GPU, and then I have to pay $500 for a CPU. You know, a couple of $100 on memory, you know, all that shit, and put it together. There's nothing there that makes me want to, you know, jump that bad and spend that much money because the game's not there yet. I'll eventually do it, but I'm not in a hurry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know, while a console at $500, you know, and then on PlayStation, you technically don't have to spend $500. You can spend $400 as long as you only go digital. That's not bad at all. $400. And you get these games that look great, that's not a bad deal at all either. Just as long as you're willing, and most people, they're done with discs.
Yeah. A lot of people are digital, whether they want to believe it or not. There's a lot of people are
done with digital because it's convenience, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not too hard up. My thing, as long as they provide a 60 frames and give me the option, I more often have tended to choose the 60 frame mode over the higher graphical fidelity. Because it just plays smoother. So I'm good with it.
Okay. Let's sit right there. So I've been thinking about this recently. I haven't made a video because I don't know how to approach it, right? I've been forcing myself little by little to play the 4K 30, right? So right now I'm playing The Witcher 3, right? Because I haven't played that, right? Okay. And on Xbox you could have it. There's a performance mode that's like a dynamic resolution. 60, or you could play at 4K, right? I played Hellblade at 4K with ray tracing on and everything, and what I noticed was that once I got into the game, right? Like once I got into the game, yes, I could notice the frames, but the game was still good enough where like I enjoyed it. Like I had fun and I enjoyed it and everything, right? So are these options actually still something that we want, or do we remember the time where you would just put the cartridge in and whatever the hell you got is what you played and you still enjoyed the game?
Ultimately, if you're forced, you're gonna enjoy the game. If you're forced, but to me, having the options, I don't think it takes away from anything. I don't think it takes away from development time. I don't think it takes away from some user experience. Like for me, I prefer, let's say for example, Ratchet and Clank. I played it at ray tracing at 60 frames. Other people preferred 4K 30 because they want the bells and whistles. One experience didn't take away from another. How I played it didn't hurt another gamer, and how they played it didn't hurt me because the options is there, right? If Insomniac didn't do that and they didn't provide a performance mode, I still probably would have enjoyed the game at 4K 30 because I played a lot of games at 30 frames before. It's not new to me. I'm okay with that. I'll play a game at 30 frames. I have no issues with that, right? It's not like I'll be like, oh, man, 60, give me 60 or give me death. I'm not that type, right? And I'm sure I would have loved it. You know what I'm saying? But I think with these options, I don't think it's taken away from anything, right? And I don't think it's adding an extra layer of development time. I think both of them, I think the games are going to come out at the same time. I think it'll be fine. So like, the choice, I don't think I think it's irrelevant, you know, to people. You know, the people that want to do it at 60. I do personally feel, because a lot of games I can feel and play. And I did it. I switched between back and forth, and I can see and feel the difference between 30 and 60 frames. That's why
you can feel it.
You can feel it. And I prefer the feeling over the looks. Because I think
the smoothness.
Yeah, because I think at a certain point you get used to the look, if you know what I mean.
Oh, that's good.
Does that make sense? Like, in the beginning, the graphics are dope, but once you get into the game, you don't really notice graphics anymore. Like, in the beginning, like when you play Spider-Man, right, at 4K 30, man, you're like, oh, look at this. You stop. You're looking yourself in the glass mirror. You're looking at a building. You stop.
Looking at puddles.
Yeah, you're doing photo mode, and you're just enjoying the graphics. And you're like, man, like me, I did it with Ratchet and Clank, right? When I did 4K 30, right? I zoomed in on his helmet, did the reflection glass, took a picture. I'm like, man, this shit looks dope. Look at the ray tracing. But once I just played the game to play the game, it like the last thing on my mind was graphics. Now it was just like, all right, I gotta do this. I gotta do this mission. Oh, I gotta beat this boss. You know, oh, I gotta upgrade. The gameplay just took over, and it was no longer about the graphics. I stopped noticing, man, these graphics look great. I didn't do that no more because I was invested in the game. Like, same thing with Demon's Souls. In the beginning, I'm like, wow, look at this, man. They fucking really remade this game. Look at the graphics of this. But once I really started getting into it and the game was stressing me out, Graphics was the last thing I was worrying about. Like, the game was stressing because I choose the magic build and that shit sucked ass. You know, so after a while, you forget about graphics. Now it's just the merit of the game and you're just playing it, you know? And at that point, the smoothness of the game takes over. Because it does. The game feels and plays better when it's smoother, you know? Especially if you're doing a shooter or an action game. Yeah. You know, those games are really important and stuff like that. Or slow combat game, like, let's say, Uncharted, maybe not so much, you know? But definitely something like fast-paced, definitely like Demon Souls, I definitely needed 60 frames. You know what I'm saying?
Well, even a game like Uncharted would benefit from 60 frames. Because it's a shooting game still. You know, it's still benefit. The smoothness still looks good. Yeah, I feel
60 frames, I think, does a dramatic difference than upping the resolution or upping graphical settings. I think with 60 frames, it really changes but you can really, if you're really into the gameplay, you can really feel the gameplay difference. You know what I'm saying? And you can notice, and you just end up playing better.
Okay, I feel you. I'm looking at the title of your YouTube tonight, right? Yeah. And I see, you know, Sony's purchases on Bluepoint. Now, obviously, I just hopped on, so I don't know if you spoke about it already.
Yeah, I did, but go ahead if you have a question.
So Bluepoint mainly focuses on older games, right?
Yeah.
Like remaking older games.
Yeah, they did that a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so is that what you think Sony is going to be using them for? Is to just keep remaking older games, older classics, and stuff like that, or do you think they're actually going to be using them to make new IPs, new games, and other things like that?
So right now, the rumor, since they purchased, they're saying they're already working on 2 projects. One is a new game, and one is a remake. So I think them being officially backed by Sony, depending on their growth and how much money they invest in them and how they grow the studio, I don't see why they can't do both, depending on the size of the studio. You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously not at the same time, but they could go back and forth. Like they could, let's say like right now, let's assume another remake is in the works, right? That's the main game that's going to come out next. But they're already working a little bit on their new IP. You know, they're doing a concept art, storyboarding it. You know, they haven't done full-fledged development, but they're still working on concept. But the main focus is another remake. Once the remake is done, now they'll shift manpower to actually make their new concept into an actual game and leave a small staff just for updates and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? They could manage it. They could manage it like that. You know, they make a remake, next title's a new IP. They make another remake, the next title may be the sequel to the IP if it's successful, and they could just keep doing that. They could leapfrog that. So I don't see why they can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like Uncharted. It's like Naughty Dog, right? They made Uncharted 4, Lost Legacy. Now they made The Last of Us. Now they're doing something else. They keep leapfrogging onto new titles. Does that make sense? So I don't see why. I don't see why they can't. I don't see why they don't find a way for Bluepoint to satisfy both. Because in my opinion, though, they need to make a new game. I will say that. You bought the studio, you got to give them the opportunity to bring new content. It can't always be just a remake after remake. You have a new studio, give them the opportunity for new content.
Okay, now for someone like you, right, that you've played a lot of these big games, these big titles already. How do you feel about remakes? Because to me, you still love it?
I love it. A remake, yes. A remaster, I don't really care about remasters. Remakes is different.
Remake, yes. Okay.
Remaster, if they do a remaster, I'm like, whatever. I'm not really, like Uncharted remaster or some shit. I don't know. All right, let me rephrase this. I don't really care about a remake or remaster of a PS4 game. I'm going to be honest.
I appreciate that. Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you why. I don't think a PS4, I think the way the PS4 games were made still hold up for this gen. I don't think they really need a remake.
They just need a remaster, like up the frames or something. Yeah, up
the frames. I think they still look good. Sure, a remake will make this game look its best, but I think these games, I think like Uncharted 4, it looks really good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sure, if they did a full remake, all right, but I think Uncharted 4 looks really good. If you were to remake something, I have to say it has to be no further than PS3. Like Knights of the Old Republic. Like Knights of the Old Republic. That is a perfect game to do a full-blown remake. Because if you try to play that shit now, it doesn't hold up well. Even though it is one of the great games, one of the best RPG, one of the best games OG Xbox has. The game is phenomenal. But for its time, because you're talking about a game that's like 15, 20 years old or whatever. It's like, it's old as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It was at the time it was amazing, but if you play that shit now, you're gonna be like, especially if you played like Skyrim, you know, you played, you know, Witcher 3, you played all these new and latest RPGs, you play that one, it's gonna be rough. You know, it's not gonna, you know, it's a lot of nostalgia behind it. So something like that deserves a remake, you know, or Ninja Gaiden Black, I would co-sign a full remake because they're so old. You know what I'm saying? So a simple remaster or a simple res boost is not gonna cut it. You need to build that shit from the ground up. But an Uncharted 4 remake, I'm like, word? I'm like, really? We're putting energy in that? Like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I'm like, I don't know about that. I you know, it's just, I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
Okay.
I'm not really feeling it.
My only fear with remakes is that I don't want these companies to go the full Nintendo route, and I feel like Nintendo has already gotten me. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Nintendo got me. Like, if they're gonna drop like a Metroid Prime, I'm buying the OLED Switch, even though I know it's a horrible decision. You know what I mean? Just off of nostalgia, like, I'm getting it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just don't want these companies to go ahead and do the same thing with these remasters and these remakes. So I'm not sure. I'm not fully sold. I just wish these consoles themselves were able to upscale them and boost them all already. Because I agree with you. Last generation, the games looked really good. Like, I just finished playing not that long ago. I finished Rise, Son of Rome. Yeah. Oh my God, the game was beautiful. It was amazing, but it was running at 30. But it was running at 30.
Graphically, the game looks good. It's a shitty game, but graphically, it was a bells and whistles.
Bro, I enjoyed it, bro. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoyed it. You be proud of me, man. I've been gaming.
I'll give you something. I'll give you this. You keep up what you're doing, you're gonna smoke check these Xbox dudes in gamer tag. I guarantee it. You keep going the way you go, because I see you. You even vote on people, and people be like, play this, and you play it.
Yeah,
bro. In about a year, I'm telling you, these dudes who's been on Xbox for 10 years, your gamer score is gonna be higher than them.
No, but this is.
And I'm gonna let you know. I'll be like, yo, I need you to screenshot your gamer tag. So you're gonna give it to me. I'm gonna go at him with it. I'll be like, yo, my baby bro has been in the Xbox for 2 years. How the fuck is he smoking you? Oh, I only play, you know, Halo multiplayer. Then why are you out here capping for Game Pass and 400 games if you ain't playing them? Oh, I'm telling you. I'm gonna use your gamer tag. Oh my God, you have no idea what's coming, bro. They're gonna feel this heat. I'll be like, yo, my baby bro's been on Xbox 2 years total, his whole life. How he smoking you? I need to know. I need answers, dog.
No, but I got to tell you something about this gamer score shit, right? Yeah. So it's especially on Xbox. I don't know if you guys have the same thing on the Sony side, because I haven't really tried to look or whatever. But there's specific games that are like shorter that give you mad points that are like bullshit games. So there's people that have really high gamer scores on the Xbox that really ain't playing
big games. They're not playing the big games. They're playing these little bullshit games that gives them boost. They're boosting 1,000 points on a 2-hour game. Because 1,000 points is 1,000 points. Same thing on PlayStation. Same thing.
Okay, so it happens the same way. Okay.
Yeah, these dudes are playing these little indies that are like 3 hours and they get a full platinum.
Okay.
Even worse. Even worse. I'm gonna tell you. Even worse on PlayStation, right? Because on PlayStation there are games that have the PS3 version, the Vita version, and the PS4 version. And each each one, if you beat the same game on each platform, you get a platinum. So there are like 3-4 hour indies. You could platinum it on the PlayStation 3, you could platinum it on the Vita, and you could platinum it on the PS4, and you're gonna get a platinum for each one. I seen it.
Damn.
And these dudes, because these dudes come at me, yeah, I got 70 platinums, you ain't shit, Porter Rock. I'm like, motherfucker, you played the same game 3 times.
Yeah.
Alright? Get out of here, bro. My shit is unique. You know what I'm saying? If I played the game on PS4, I'm not going to play the same game on PS5. Or, I mean, if I played the game on PS3 and beat it and platinum it or whatever, I'm not going to replay it on PS4 just to get a platinum and say, oh, look at me, I got 10 platinum. No. I play games to play games. I want unique experiences and stuff like that. You playing the same indies over and over. Getting free. Get out of here. You platinum boosting, dog. I ain't trying to hear that shit. I could do the same shit if I wanted to. I could go download and buy these $10 games and platinum it, then turn on my PlayStation 4 and play it there and platinum it again. Get out of here. I ain't got time for that. I'm trying to enjoy gaming. I'm not just trying to put a notch on a platinum thing. That's no. Hell no. But yeah. But I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna when you pass them, right? Ask them how long they've been playing. They'll be like, oh, I've been playing since 360. And that's when you're gonna realize, how the fuck did I pass this dude in such a short time? It's because they don't play games, bro. They don't, man. They cap too much. I understand talking shit, but yo, you gotta back that shit up with some playtime. Yeah. You gotta get on the sticks, and actually, you gotta mean what you say. When you're telling people Xbox is the best way to play the motherfucker then. Like, I'm not knocking you for saying this is where you prefer. I'm knocking you because you're not playing it. that's where I'm clowning you. You ain't playing the machine you say you're playing.
Right, and that's the same thing I have with the Sony Pony Nation. It's like when they cap like everything they bought the PlayStation 5 for was just for exclusives, and then you see they're also playing old games, and then they're talking shit about exclusive play. It's like, come on, man, you only got one next gen game that you bought, unless you bought every single next gen game that came out. Like, don't come on, man. Like, you also playing old games, That's the thing that freaking about. But you didn't blow on the controller, right?
What? Nah.
Okay, good. You see that? You see that's what I'm talking about.
I whistled. I whistled.
Yeah.
I didn't blow. I whistled. I said.
Did you leave when the Steam Deck came out?
The what?
The Steam Deck. Were you gone while during that whole time the Steam Deck news came out and everything, or were you still around?
The Steam Deck. I think it was in the summer. I didn't pay attention to it because I was way too busy.
Are you worried about it at all?
Steam Deck, no. Not really.
You're not excited for it at all?
To be honest, I don't even know much about it.
Oh, it's like a handheld system that's coming from Steam, from Valve, and it's
I think you know what I do remember because I trolled the Nintendo dudes on it. I trolled the fuck out of them because I think there was an image that showed the games you could play on Steam Deck, which included Nintendo games if you got the emulator. So you'll be able to play Switch games, Wii games, Wii U games, N64, whatever, and then Switch. Just Switch games. Yo, dudes were not happy, bro, when I did that picture. Yo, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. I remember this now until you're talking about. It does look interesting because with the Switch emulator, that's crazy.
It is.
That shit's different. I don't think it's gonna outsell the Switch. But just on the merit of what potentially it can do, there's no arguing that it could, as a better device, is better than the Switch. Especially if that shit runs Switch emulation and you can play Switch games. And sometimes a lot of these Switch emulations, they run the game better than the actual Switch. Like, for example, there was an emulation on PC, and PC gamers, were playing, Breath of the Wild at native 4K, lock 60.
Damn, modding and everything. Yeah, that's crazy.
That shit was crazy, bro. And you're like, you can't argue against that. Like, what can you say if you're a Switch gamer? Even if you're the biggest Nintendo fanboy, you really don't have shit to say. Like, if dude is playing the same game you playing at much better performance and visuals. Like, it's crazy, bro. So, Steam Deck, I would say definitely for the hardcore gamer, that shit could change shit, bro. A lot of hardcore gamers could be like, man, I ain't getting no Switch. I could play Switch games and these AAA games on the go.
Yeah, that mobile market is becoming a thing, and like Stadia and xCloud want to use the cloud, but let me ask you dedicated handheld.
I know you are on your cloud mode, right? And you appreciate it. But now after all this time, but how do you look at it? Do you really think it's gonna be big?
Cloud gaming?
Yeah. Do you really think it's gonna catch on?
I think if they produce the proper business model, I think it can. Because, like, so how you just said, upgrading hardware and stuff like that, right? Like, they can literally eliminate that. Completely eliminate it. Like, we could look at a time where we will never have to upgrade hardware unless you're just playing on PC. And it's literally like, so for instance, when we got 4K for Netflix, I don't know about you, but I didn't upgrade nothing. Netflix just told me like, hey, we got 4K now. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit, okay. So if I got a 4K TV, I could go ahead and use the 4K stuff. You know what I'm saying? So whatever they did on their end to upgrade that service, that's what happened. Same thing with so I subscribe to Apple Music and Spotify. Like when they upgrade their MP3 technology and the music sounds better or whatever, like I'm not upgrading anything. It's still the same exact phone or whatever. It's just that their side is getting upgraded. So I think that has specific merit, and the internet's only going to get better. I think just the problem is that the internet is not where it's supposed to be everywhere, and these consoles touch so much. And as of right now, like I like Stadia a lot. But nobody's going to tell me that Stadia is going to run a game better than a game downloaded on my Xbox Series X. Like no. And the biggest thing they complain about is, well, you got to download the game. Like, yeah, but these things are pretty fast already. Like by the time I'm done downloading it with quick resume and everything, like I'm not worried about it. Like I can get into that game pretty freaking quickly.
And not only that, they also have pre-downloads, especially if it's a new game. Like the game's already downloaded before launch, if you're interested. Right. You brought up a good point, is the performance, right? Stadia is nowhere near at the performance of consoles, right? What type of network would be needed to get Stadia to run at Xbox Series X performance? Not just graphically and ray tracing and all that shit, but also latency. So you can feel, right? And that's why I think cloud gaming is going to have always its hits, right? Because as every generation goes, these consoles are going to do a lot of advanced stuff compared to the previous generation. If cloud gaming is supposed to match that, then the network has to evolve and grow at that fast pace. Now, here's the thing. Internet is going to get better, but it's not going to be focused on gaming. Verizon and all these ISPs, Spectrum, Comcast, they're not modeling the internet to be ready for everybody to jump on in console gaming. They don't really care about that, right? So they're not going to grow their backside servers and all that stuff to meet the demands of cloud gaming. They really don't care about that. They give two shits about that. You know what I'm saying? So while I think the experience of cloud will get better, I don't think it will match native hardware, because native hardware will always try to push the next level, and you'll always get the best latency because this native hardware is there. While cloud gaming, like right now, I think Stadia is doing what the PS4 is doing. 1080p, 60 frames, right? And it does it well.
You could get 4K if you got Stadia Pro.
But how does it play? Does it play well? Depending on the house, though, right? Like if you get Stadia 4K, it depends on your location, right? Because it could run like shit.
Yeah, and you're pulling mad gigabytes. So, mad data. Yeah. So for me, like, and again, that's where it becomes unfair. Like, I have Fios internet, right? So like, my internet is really good. Yeah, I got Verizon Fios there.
You big son.
Yeah, so my Stadia runs, like when I tell you, like I can't tell if I'm playing it, like it feels like I'm playing on a console. Like it really does. Like it feels really, really good. The only thing is, like you said, the graphical fidelity, the games obviously look better on my Xbox Series X. I haven't played a game on Stadia that looks better than on my Xbox Series. Now I have played games that match it. Like if you play the Division 2, like it matches, it looks good. Same thing with Destiny, looks good on both and everything, right? But again, I have really, really good internet, and I've spoken with people that have been able to play it and people that haven't been able to play like it, that it works for them and that it doesn't work for them.
And it's that, I guess, that inconsistency, right? And some people don't want to worry about that, right?
That's the problem.
The
inconsistency is a problem.
Yeah, some people just want it to work all the time, every time, right? And native hardware, for the most part, is like that. The only exception is when, like, the Xbox Live or the PSN network goes down. That's when they have issues. But for the most part, you turn on your console, it just works, and it's working at, the fidelity it's supposed to run. Like, the internet doesn't determine graphical fidelity. So that's why I'm kind of... And I know people try to, like you pointed out examples with movies and music, but I think the main difference is movies and music isn't interactive. Like, we just sit there and we just look at it, or we just listen, right? And that's really, and that's all we're ever gonna do. While a game, we I would say gamers, when we look at our games, we hold gaming to a high standard. We're the only dudes that would like stop a game and zoom on a rock and be like, "Oh, look at these ugly ass textures." Like, we don't like. Do you ever like pause a movie and like dissect the scene? And like, oh, look at that bullshit on the corner. That shit looks like trash. Like, ain't nobody doing that. Dudes ain't, or like you stop a music. Oh, that verse is corny. I ain't listening to this song. Like, nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? We don't do weird shit like that when it comes to movies, right? But with games, we the only dudes that will look at, you know, a sewer cap. Like, you seen the shit on the internet? They're comparing sewer caps between The Last of Us and Halo.
Oh, bro.
We are the only community that not only does that, but we will argue. Oh, The Last of Us looks better because it has snow and it's rusted, while Halos look shiny. You ever seen a shiny sewer cap? Dudes taking real pictures of sewer caps, pointing at it. See, look, it's not shiny. I'm like, wow, bro, y'all really like. I ignore. I'm like, I'm not getting involved in this, bro.
Yeah, the fruit too. Oh man, the fruit.
I'm like, I'm not doing this. Dudes is really talking about fruit, bro. I'm like, I'm not doing that. But that's how hard we go on games. We don't do that shit in movies and music. We do not destroy movies for shit like that. We don't. We turn it on, we watch it. Sure, we may rag on the plots, you know. There might be a plot hole here and there, but that's because, you know, the big part of a movie is a story. But besides that, we ain't pausing and be like, wait, stop. Yo, zoom in the background. Nah, that ain't right, dog. Look at them textures. Look at that draw distance. This movie's whack. Like, no one's doing that shit, bro. We ain't doing that shit, bro.
Oh, you're right.
We will obliterate a game over that shit. You understand what I'm saying? So, like with Stadia, because of the internet connection, let's say the graphical constantly gets adjusted up and down. You'll get the best looking, but then because of the internet, they tone down the graphics. People will snapshot a Stadia game's weakest point, and then they'll put on Twitter, look at this shit. This is the shit y'all hyping on Stadia, even though it was only like 5 seconds of downgrade, and then it got boosted back up. That's why, you know, they will use that image to represent the entire Stadia library. And people will believe it. They'll be like, oh, hell nah. I'm sticking with my Xbox. I'm sticking with my PS5. I never get that shit.
Yeah. Well, that word you just used right now is probably Stadia's biggest problem right now, and it's their library. Library is the biggest problem. The fact that you can't get every single multi-plat game on it, that's their biggest problem. They need to figure out how to get just the simple stuff like Warzone and Madden.
Warzone's not even on there, right? Madden, 2K. No, that's the thing. That's crazy.
No, Apex Legends, like just like the free-to-play games, like some of these games are huge. Like whether we like them or not,
Apex Legends not on there either.
Huge, you know. No, it's not on. You can't get Apex Legends on Stadia. No.
Yo, I said the biggest issue for Stadia, and at the time it was advertising is going to have all the multiplats, right? I said it's still going to be exclusives. Because if it's just multiplats, people already have the consoles for multiplats. They already got them. They're already on PC, and they're not going to, and they already built the library. They already got their friends to play games with. They're not going to merge over to network, start all over, right? But the fact you're telling me they can't even get every multiplat, especially the big ones, like Madden, 2K, oh shit, bro, that's a huge hurdle they gotta fix.
It is, and then their marketing is not good either. But that was their fault. The way they came out, yeah. But I don't know, man. It's just gaming is looking a little crazy nowadays.
I think the big three, and obviously PC's always been around, but as far as the big publishers, I think Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are fine. It's everybody else that's trying to jump in, like Amazon. With what's that shit called? Luna, yeah. They're the ones that are in trouble.
Yes,
because in my opinion,
Walmart wants to jump in too or some shit. I saw,
the problem is because gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Everybody just wants to get in the pool for money.
Yeah,
but they don't fundamentally understand the audience. You know, especially if they're trying to be a AAA, you know, service provider. They don't understand who their customers are. Their customers will rip them apart. Like I said, we dissect shit that doesn't need to be dissected. Motherfuckers zoomed in on the tip of the nose of Alloy just to see her nose hairs and give props to it. Like, dudes are, you know, we do the most when we expect quality. And Amazon and Stadia and Walmart, they're not ready for this. They're not ready for the smoke.
Yeah.
You know, unless they're truly hire people that are actually gamers. I knew Stadia was in trouble when they first unveiled Stadia, right? I don't know if you haven't seen it, especially since you talk about Stadia, whatever. Look at their first unveiling of Stadia, right? It was like a keynote speech, and they first it was like it wasn't even called Stadia. Like nobody knew what was it called. That's when they first officially announced it and called it Stadia, right? The person who started off the keynote was the CEO, right, of fucking Google, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the CEO of Google. And his first words was, I am not a gamer.
Damn.
I want you to think about that. He started the presentation with, I'm not a gamer. And then he went on to spill about Stadia, whatever. And I thought to myself, and if you've been in the military, right? You had classes, you got classes from people. You ever taught a class? Officially?
Yeah.
Like officially? They ever taught you that the first thing you need to do is convince your audience why they need to listen to you? Because in the military, if I'm in a class, why am I listening to you? So you start off with your credentials.
Right.
Like, hey, I'm Master Guns Ortega, I'm whatever. I'm the subject matter expert in this area, and today I'm going to explain to you this topic. But you already know that I'm the subject matter expert with my qualifications. So then the guys will listen. If you don't know if you have no involvement, you never done this, I'm not going to sit here for an hour and listen to you. When that dude said, I'm not a gamer, I'm like, I'm about to shut this off. Because why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's like, I knew like, oh my God, they're already on the wrong foot, bro. Like, you're already on the wrong foot. That's not what people want to hear. Like, what are you going to say now when you don't even play games? Like, why are you here? Why didn't you put the person in charge of Stadia and hopefully he plays games? Like, these dudes like Phil Spencer, as much flack, he plays games. Yoshida, that dude plays games. Yoshida plays the shit out of some games. That dude got crazy platinums, bro.
What about Mr. Jim Ryan?
Yeah.
What do you think? You think he plays?
From what I hear, everybody in the PlayStation studios play games. From what I hear.
Okay.
Everybody. Sean Layden said it. They all are they play the shit that they preach, which I think is a good culture. And I know Phil Spencer's a gamer.
Yo, they're killing Jim Ryan though with all these memes though. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I look at his face, now I think that nose actually belongs to him.
That's just funny, bro. There's some funny things. Bro.
Yeah.
There's some funny things.
Yeah, they're wild. They're wild.
It's just funny, bro. I mean, that's what it is. But I'll be honest. He did something that previous PlayStations wasn't able to do since the PS2.
Which is what?
Is provide games the first year. Because usually PlayStation's first year is dry as fuck. Like, there's nothing of anything, bro, to play within the first year. It's nothing but pure multiplats the first year, bro. And if they release an exclusive, it's like Killzone. Yo. It's like,
nah, Killzone was dope, though.
Stop.
Killzone was dope. You didn't like Shadowfall?
No, that shit is terrible, bro. I couldn't finish it.
That shit looks amazing, though.
I told all day. I remember all day.
That game looks good till today. That game looks good.
No, graphically looks good, but it's shit gameplay. And it's just a shitty game. I told all day, right? This was like 2 years later. Like, whatever, 2016. They were selling Killzone for $5. So we on, the PlayStation chat in a party. And he's like, hey, yo, Podok, look. Oh, they have Killzone Shadowfall for sale for $5. You think I should copy? And I told all day, I'm like, yo, I'm going to tell you what to do with that $5. And he's like, what? I need you to get in your car. And he's like, what? I'm like, listen, get in your car. You're going to drive to McDonald's. And you're going to pick a value meal that's $5. And then you're going to come home. You're going to eat the meal. And you just spent $5 properly. And he started laughing. He's like, yo, you wildin'. He bought the game like 2 days later. He's like, yo, I should have bought the McDonald's.
Damn, that's wild.
I told you, bro. You should have bought the McDonald's. That $5 would have been much better spent, bro. I'll tell you, that game is whack. And people think that I cap for every place. No, I cap for good games. If the game is whack, you're gonna hear it from me. And I'm telling you, Killzone Shadowfall is whack. Order 1886, graphically good game, but it's like whack. It's our version of Rise. I always say Order 1886 is our Rise. A graphically beautiful game, but that shit got no substance, bro. Like, none,
You
bro.
really didn't like Rise?
No, bro. You could put the controller down and the motherfucker could play itself. All that game. And I played it, like, when you first play it, the hardest level you could play is Centurion mode. So I went straight to Centurion mode. And that shit was Romper Room. I'm like, yo, this game is too easy, bro. Like, literally. Like, all you got to do is, like, weaken 4 or 5 guys, and then you hit the Y button, and then put the controller down.
Yeah. You put in slow motion.
Yeah, and that's it. Everybody's dead. I'm like, this shit
and
is
you're snatching people's heads and stuff.
Come on. This is too easy, bro. I'm like, this game is too easy.
I was going wild.
Yeah, it was way too easy, man. I'm like, this is way too easy, bro. I can't do this. This game is graphically is beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. Graphically, especially for a launch game, I'm like, yo, this is a graphical showpiece, and it's not 100p. That's why I didn't rag on Xbox One for being resolution. I didn't care. All I care about is graphical fidelity and the quality of the game. So I never ragged on Xbox One for being a 900p machine. I didn't give a shit. All I ragged on was the Kinect. I thought that was a mistake. I'm like, that shit is stupid. No one's gonna give a fuck about doing what is it? What's that shit called? Sky, whatever.
Like movement and stuff.
No, that or even what is it? The old shit before FaceTime. Sky, what's the fucking
Skype?
Yeah, Skype.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody gonna Skype on an Xbox when we could do that shit on our phone. Ain't nobody trying to go back to that shit. We moved on. We got Skype on our phone. We ain't trying to go back to that bullshit. Ain't nobody gonna Skype or do football or do football league. Fucking
fantasy football.
Yeah, ain't nobody doing fantasy football on a console. Ain't nobody give a damn about that. That shit's gonna flop. That was the only shit I ragged on. Graphics, I'm like, yo, Rise looks good. It's just a shitty game, but it looks great graphically, and it shows potential of what this console could do. But I didn't like the 1886 either. That shit was whack. Graphically, it looked nice. The potential for the story was nice, but the gameplay and controller, I'm like, man, this shit is rough, bro.
That's why you can't be gone for 6 months, man. Because when you were gone, bro, these fools were capping hard on everything, man.
I can't do it, bro. I mean, but these Twitter spaces is crazy. But anyway, I'm gonna bounce and I'm gonna play some games.
All right, but man, I appreciate you having me on, man.
No doubt. Thank you for coming by. Oh, but let me wait. I think I see a super chat. Game Over Brian. Yeah, I saw your super chat. Don't worry about it. I got you. Game Over Brian. Question for legendary P-Rock. Doc, you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah, so he got a question for both of us. He says this question for legendary P-Rock and Doc Dark. When upgrading FF7 Remake to PS5, do the trophies pop up automatically? Test you guys gaming knowledge. Man, don't listen to him, bro. Oh, shit. Fucking Game Over Brian. He always asks that question. Now, do trophies pop up automatically on the remakes? And the answer is yes. Because when I saw that for 25 remakes and that shit was just popping automatically, I was like, oh shit. Yo. So the answer is yes. Game Over Brian. It pops up. Fucking I forgot.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yo, watch. Check out the podcast Tuesday. He's gonna ask Jay Bar that same question. He does it every podcast.
Does he?
Every podcast. He will ask. Does the trophies pop up? Do remake? He will ask every podcast. He goes on Jay Barry's channel, asks that podcast. He's like, yo, he's gonna drive Jay Barry nuts. He asks that question every time, bro. Do the trophies pop up? Anyway, hey, I hope you guys.
Before you go, are people asking you to host the spaces?
They're begging because I have a space. I have a title of a space. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you when we get off. I trust you.
Okay. Yeah.
So the name of the space. I'll talk to you offline.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not because from these conversations, bro, like yo, I don't know. Talking with these dudes, bro. Like
people want me to do spaces too. I got some people. Yeah. It was funny too because I told them I was like, I can't. I don't have 600 followers. And like the next day they were like, yo, you got 600 followers now. You
yo,
can
these dudes is crazy. Yo,
they went there.
Yo, these motherfuckers say what? They made 600.
They made accounts.
They made accounts and got your shit to 600.
Shit.
You're like, nah, man, I'm only at 300. I need 600. 5 minutes later, yo, you at 600. How the fuck? All their soccer accounts followed you, bro.
Bro, that was crazy.
What else you need, dog? What else you need? But that's what's up. So I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Don't hop off. I'm here. So, yo, so we're about to end. I'm ending the stream. Hey, thanks for rocking out. On your way out, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Well, I'll see you guys Tuesday, all right? 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 60 frames, no lag. And we're going to do it, all right? All right, people. Peace. All right, let me end this. All right, let me make sure I end the stream.